Hello everyone children, I welcome you back to our virtual learning session. Today we are going to study English. But before going ahead, let us have some general discussion about life. What do you understand by the word life? Does it mean that it is only a word consisting four letters? No, it is much more wider than that. The aspect of life has different varieties of situations to offer us, and every situation is contrast from the other. Correct. The efforts we put in, the efforts that go through each and every challenge vary from each other, from the situations, from the challenges faced by us in our life. It shows us how we live life as a gift, a boon that is given to us by the Almighty, the God. Clear? Now, before going ahead to our subject, there is a little bit of introduction about the poem we are going to see in the coming slides. Clear? How the poet enjoys nature, and from nature, how does he collect his gratitude towards it, and how he is thankful for making him remember his childhood memories as well. Clear? So, going ahead, we will see the name of the poem along with the poet. Let us slide ahead. So, the slides opens up with the poem's name, that is poem number 3 in your English textbook, that is Rain on the Roof. You can see the picture how it is raining, right? Whatever consistency the rain has in itself, once it falls on the roof, it directly slides down. This simply gives us an example of the pressure that falls on us, right? Any kind of pressure, any kind of challenge that falls onto our head, or the situation which we are going through, we have to be like a roof. We should have the strength like roof, and let the problems go away. Let us soak the challenges. Let us learn from it. Clear? But let the water flow away. Here, the flowing of the rainwater shows us letting off your problems and seeing an opportunity in the challenge that has been put on to you or thrown upon to you. Clear? So whatever the situation is, be as strong as the roof and enjoy the rain. Clear? I hope you have got the idea of the poem. Now, Rain on the Roof is written by a famous poet named Scott Skinny. Clear? Let us slide ahead to understand the poet's views on the rain and about the roof that is built upon his house. Let us go ahead. So this slide opens up with the introduction of the poet Scott Skinny. So Scott Skinny was born on November 24th, 1826, and he passed away on January 25th, 1904. He was an American lawyer, politician, journalist, and poet who wrote Rain on the Roof. So he was into different professions. He was an American, and being an American, he was a lawyer, politician, journalist, and poet. Scott Skinny was born in November 24, 1826, near Penn Yan in New York. He was partly educated at Antioch College, Yellow Springs, Ohio, and studied law with Thomas Corwin. So, the three colleges which they have given, the Antioch, the Yellow Springs, Ohio, these were the colleges where he completely did his education, and he studied his law in Thomas Cowan College. He was admitted to the bar in Cincinnati in 1856. He became a journalist and worked on papers in Cincinnati, Ohio, Xenia, and Springfield, Illinois. So over here, the bar means he was a lawyer, right? So he was admitted in the bar, that is a lawyer in Cincinnati at 1856. Then he went on to become a journalist and worked on papers in Cincinnati, Ohio, Xenia, and Springfield, Illinois. Clear? So these were the places where he did his journalism. From June 1861 until November 1865, he was a paymaster. So after being a journalist, he became a paymaster in United States Army and was mustered out with the commission of Brevet Lieutenant Colonel of the Volunteers. He was a delegate to the convention that nominated Ulysses S. Grant for the presidency in 1868 and its Ohio secretary. He was the senator from the 5th District in the Ohio legislature 1882 to 1883 and delivered a speech against the official railroad pass. So this was his brief history and his life and where he worked, where he studied during that particular period. He wrote poetry and his verses were collected. He wrote poetry and his verses means the paragraphs, clear? And his verses were collected in Kyoka and other poems, Cincinnati in 1855, and lyrics of the ideal and the real in 1888. Of his verses, The Rain on the Roof, which was set to music, was the most popular, and he died in Ohio in 1904, that is January 25, 1904. Clear? So here is verses, his collections. They were collected in different books. Clear? So we had a brief description about the poets called Skyny over here. Let us go ahead and see how his poem The Rain on the Roof, which was ahead set to music, which became popular as well, what message it has to convey through his writings. Let us slide ahead. So let us start with the first paragraph of the poem. Remember the starting slide of the poem where I introduced you with the poem's name along with the poet's name. Clear? So the rain on the roof, what did I explain to you? However intense the rain's pressure may be, your roof should be hard enough to bear the pressure of the rain, the intensity of the rain on the roof, and then it slowly flows away. Means what? The intensity of the rain is the problems that you are facing. You have to keep your mind and your thoughts so strong that the problem does not hover you, does not make you become weak instead of stagnant, instead of strong, instead of the same thought process of being an opportunist, rather being an exceptionist, that you are just keeping away the things and you are not taking the things into consideration, you are not accepting challenges. That should not happen. We should always keep our roof, that is our head, say, it should be very strong. What do you understand by head? It is not that your skull should be strong, it is that the emotions that you are facing, clear, the challenges that you are going through, you should be stable, you should be strong enough to face it. however intense your problems may be, how the intensity of the rain hits the roof, the same way, if the problems are much and when it hits you into your brain, you should be very strong so that it does not affect your inner mind. You should be strong to accept the challenges and overcome it. Clear? So let us go through the first para. When the humid shadows hover. Yeah, humid, whenever the climate is not good, say it is rather not very dry, not very cold, and when there is a mixture of both these things, the climate becomes very humid, children. Here the word humid is given. Why? Because when the climate is humid, we feel uncomfortable, right? Our skin becomes sticky due to the moisture in the air is less present. Clear? When the moisture in the air is less present, our skin becomes sticky because there is the less amount of wind that is uh, coming towards us. So to adjust the temperature, we do on our fan, cooler or AC as such. Clear? So you're not comfortable with that situation, but however, you are not giving up. You are finding an option to on the fan or to wear light clothes or to on the AC or cooler, whatever option you are having, right? So here you are overcoming the situation of humidity. But here we are talking about life. Clear? And we are talking about the intensity of the problems and the strength of the brain over here. Clear? So when the humid shadows hover, when the situations are not in favor of you, when they are not favorable for you, and shadows is what? The situations. Humid is what? The situation, the sadness in the situation that is been carried from here to there, and at last it comes in your life when your situations are not favorable, and when it has been, um, coming and going onto your head every now and then. So when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres. Over all the starry spheres means what? Stars do occur in the night. Clear, children? So even in the night, the stars have their capability to shine. Their capacity to shine. Clear? So here the starry spheres are the humans. Clear? And the humid shadows are your challenges, your situations. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, that is the humans, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. Now, and the melancholy is what? Sadness. Melancholy is sadness, and the melancholy darkness when the shadows are humid. Clear? Shadows are already dark, children. Even though if it is dark, that particular shadow is humid. Clear? That is, the situation is very intense. That is the reason it is creating a melancholy and darkness even though the spheres are starry. Clear? And the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. Gently weeps in rainy tears is what? Even though the situation is very hard, very difficult. I gave you the example, no? How the rain intensely falls onto the roof. Clear? But it does flow in a gentle manner. When it comes down in the gentle and stagnant manner. So even though the humid shadows are hitting the starry spheres and creates the melancholy darkness, the challenges is being given the expression of being melancholy and creating darkness into your lives. Clear? and gently weeps in rainy tears. So here it is showing that the starry spheres, that is the human, is strong, but even though he is strong, clear, he feels pain at last. Clear, when the situations which are faced by us, when we are unable to take out solutions, clear, we do weep, we do feel low at times, we do cry, correct? So that is the reason why the poet is telling gently weeps in rainy tears. We do not cry in front of someone, we go aside, we feel the situation, and we gently cry. And why in rainy tears? Because the poet is comparing the humans challenging situation to the rain. Clear, that is the reason why it has been given gently weeps in rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow. What a bliss means happiness, okay, or like boon, gift. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. Cottage chamber is your bedroom. The poet is telling about the cottage. Chamber means what? A four-sided end room. Clear? Then he is telling the bed. So it is the bedroom. Even though the first four lines are the situations he is facing, right? But he is telling, even though this all things are in my life, I'm very happy, I am blessed to have a pillow and a bed. Clear? Not everybody is blessed with that. So he is telling, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage. I told you that the poet is telling about the cottage. Chamber is a four-ended square. So the bedroom of a cottage chamber bed, and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So the first four lines tells us about the challenges about the life, and the next four lines tells us how blessed the poet feels. Even though there are such challenges in his life, he is blessed to have a home over his head, and there he can listen to the patter. Patter is what? The raindrops which falls on the roof. The rain, when it falls on the roof, that creates a sound, right? That is known as patter. And lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Why he is telling soft rain? Because there is a roof to protect him, right? The roof is the strength of his cottage chamber. That is the reason he is hearing the rain as soft. The um, you know the noise of the rain is very soft. It is not hitting hard, because what is the reason? The poet has been protected by the roof. Clear? So where the poet is happy, he is feeling blissful, and he is thanking God that he is blessed with cottage and a roof. So at least he is not been wet by the rain. Clear? So here he is thanking the Almighty. Clear, children? Let us go ahead. Let's see what the second para has to offer us. We learned in the first para about how the poet asks us to be strong even though we have the quality of being already into a strengthened state. Even though he is asking us to stay strong, because the melancholy of our life, the sadness of our life at times, challenges to create a shadow that hovers from here to there. But apart from that, we have to be very, very blissful. We have to feel that we are blessed, that we are having a roof on our head that is protecting from the physical features of the earth. Clear? Physical features of the earth or the natural calamities of the earth. So while he is stating in the first four lines where he is stating all the challenges, in the next four lines he is thanking God for giving him the roof along with the cottage chamber. Clear? Let us see the second paragraph. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. So every tinkle on the shingles means every tinkle, every drop of the rain. Every tinkle, every drop of the rain on the shingles. Shingles is the wooden, plates that is been put upon the roof, that is been designed upon the roof. That is known as shingles. The roof is made up of wood. So every tinkle, every drop of the rain on the shingles, that is on the roof, that is made up of wood, has an echo in the heart. Has an echo means what? In the last line of the last slide, we did read that the poet is able to hear the pattering of the rain in a much softer manner. Clear? Why he is hearing in a much softer manner? Because the roof has the strength to uh, bear the intensity of the rain. So taking that into consideration, every drop of the rain that falls on the wooden roof creates an echo in the heart. Creates an echo is what? It is giving a new hope into the heart. Clear? Because the roof is still strong. The pattering of the raindrops is creating a new hope into the poet's heart. Has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start. Means what? While hearing the pattering of the rain on the roof, after hearing the droplets of the rain, that is the tinkling of the raindrop on the shingles on the wooden roof, that creates an echo in his heart, that gives him a shine, a ray of hope to live. Clear? So that particular happiness is taking him back to his memory lane. It is taking the poet to a time when he was young. Clear? So, and 1,000 dreamy fancies. Fancy is what? Where a child dreams, where he is happy, where fanciful, the where like if you say Cinderella, yes, that is a fanciful story. Clear? So, and 1,000 dreamy fancies. When the poet was young, he has gone back to the lane into busy being start. What do you mean by into busy? There are many pleasant memories during his childhood. So it has been in such a rush manner that every pleasant thought, every thought that has fancies in it, that gave him hope to grow up, that all came at once in his thoughts. Clear? Into busy being start, all came at once into his mind when he went back to the memory lane. and 1,000 recollections. I just told you he went back to his memory lane after hearing the pleasant sound of the rain, the droplets of the rain on the wooden roof. So he went back to the memory lane and 1,000 recollections, the 1,000 recollections, the pleasant memories he's been recollecting, he's been thinking of about it now on his bed. Weave their air threads into woof. Means what? Weave their air threads. It is refreshing the memories of the poet. The poet has already experienced these pleasant memories. Now, once more, when the poet has gone back to the pleasant memory lane, it is again weaving, it is freshly been woven through the air threads into the woof. Into the woof here means your brain. Again, the thoughts are freshly been designed into your brain as you are thinking about it. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. You see how the poet is enjoying the rain, where he is taking the opportunity to be strong as well and to be blissful as well, and taking it positive to go back to his uh, past and collect the pleasantful memories that could give him strength, for being happy. Only when when an individual becomes happy, when he or she is happy, the strength is being garnered to face the challenges. Clear? So again the old memories are refreshed into his brain as he listens to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Clear? Let us slide ahead. Let us see the third paragraph. Now the poet is enjoying his previous pleasant memories while hearing the tingling of the raindrops falling on the shingles, that is falling on the roof that is made up of wood. Now, in memory comes my mother. Now, when he is enjoying all the pleasant things that he has enjoyed in his past, now in his mind comes his mother, as she used in years ago. Means the poet's mother has passed away. She is not alive. So her present memories come across when he is through his memory lane. He is telling, now in my memory comes my mother as she used to come the years ago. Clear? Years ago. Why he is remembering his childhood? So at that time his mother was alive. So now when he is remembering her, he is remembering as past. So that is the reason why it is stated as she used in years agone. Agone means ago. Clear? To regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till dawn. So, to regard the darling dreamers, to regard is to see her child, is to see her poet, clear? See her son, the poet, the darling, dreaming on the bed, clear? Before she left them till the dawn. Dawn, early sunrise, clear? So the poet is telling he used to sleep very, in a very soothing manner until his mother comes and wakes him up in the dawn. That is when the sun rises. Oh, I feel her fond look on me. So now the poet is, feeling very hard for his mother. He has gone back to his memories. So he's telling, Oh, I feel her fond look on me. She looks onto her son in a very loving manner. As I list to this refrain, as I list over here is listen. Okay, as I listen to this refrain. Refrain is what? Continuation, where one cannot be stopped from doing the things. So in the memories, the poet is remembering his mother. So he is so fond of her that he could not stop himself from remembering her always, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So, as I list to this refrain, the thoughts of the poet's mother is never going to end, which is played upon the shingles. The droplets of the rain is been played upon the shingles, the music that has been created on the roof due to the droplets of rain, that is by the patter of the rain. Clear? Due to this particular music, I cannot stop remembering my mother. Clear? So the poet has given us a lesson. Even though our life is full of obstacles, challenges, in each and every situation, we have to build our roof strong. We have to keep our mind strong to overcome any challenge that life throws upon us. We have to enhance ourselves. We have to open our mind and let us enhance the opportunities in these situations rather seeing the exceptions. Clear? Second, we have to be very blessed for the things we are having. Clear? So while the poet was hearing the pouring of the sound of the rain that has been made, the tingle means the pouring sound of the rain droplets, he is taking upon the opportunity to gain strength for his inner self by going across his memory lanes. Clear? That could give him strength, that could garner him strength, and at last he remembered his remembers his mother, so that her love could shower upon him once more, and that could make him once more very strong to oppose the challenges of life. So this is the entire message that the poet wanted to convey to us. Clear, children? I hope all the three paragraphs are been clear to you, children. Clear? Let us slide ahead. So let us see the literary devices in this poem, children. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B, then D, E, F, E. Now I am giving you this for your work to chalk out how are you going to phrase the rhyme scheme A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Clear? Let us see stanza 1, what all figures of speech we go through. Alliteration, the repetition of a consonant sound into or more consecutive words. That is a figure of speech. Alliteration. You can see humid hover where the letter H is repeating. Starry spears, the letter S is repeating. Press pillow, P is repeating. Lie listening, L is repeating. Second figure of speech is onomatopoeia. What is the meaning of that? The use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. Patter is the use of sound word. Clear? when you hear the word patter, it directly creates an image of sound into your brain. Clear? It is the sound made by the raindrops falling on the rooftop. So the word itself gives you a sensation of the raindrops falling onto the roof. It gives it, arises your senses, your auditory image. So that is known as onomatopoeia. Personification, treating a non-living thing as a living thing. Clear? Where a human quality has been given to a thing. Darkness has been personified when he says that it is sad. I had already taught you the darkness is been referred to as sadness in our life. Then transferred epithet. It is like adjective. The adjectives is been transferred. Clear? The use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun. Clear? That is transferred epithet. Let us see. In melancholy darkness, the darkness is not the melancholy, but it refers to the sad people. Clear? This is what we discussed in our first slide. So, in melancholy darkness, darkness is not melancholy, but the but it refers to the sadness of the people. So darkness is not been given the quality, but it is referred to as sad people. So over here the adjective is melancholy when it is been combined with a noun, that is darkness, but it refers to another noun. What is the another noun? It refers to the sad people. That is the other noun. Clear? Let us slide ahead. So in stanza 2, the first figure of speech is alliteration, where we have already read in the previous slide. The letter has been repeated. That is busy being, B has been repeated. Their thread, TH has been repeated. Rain roof, the letter R has been repeated. Again, onomatopoeia, the use of sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. You have 7 senses, right? 7 sensory organs. Whichever word gives you rise to the imagery, image in your brain, that particular word is known as onomatopoeia. Tinkle, patter. Tinkle is what? The sound of the droplet when it falls onto the roof. So the sound made by the raindrops. Personification, human quality given to a non-living being. Recollection is personified when he says that they weave dreams. So here weaving dreams cannot be done. Clear? So recollection is being given the human quality of weaving the dreams. Dreams cannot be weaved. Here weaving means the action to weave. Clear? So human quality of weaving is been given to the word recollection. Next, transferred epithet. As I already told you, the use of an adjective with a noun which refers to another noun. Dreamy fancies, it does not mean that the fancies are dreamy, but it refers to the people who have dreams. Clear? Let us slide ahead. Stanza 3, alliteration, repetition of letter M in memory and mother, repetition of letter D in darling and dreamers. Next is onomatopoeia, where patter, that is the sound of the raindrops, where evokes the sense of your brain. Correct? The sound of the rain, you can imagine it, you can feel the dramatic effect. Correct? So that goes to onomatopoeia. Let's go ahead and have a quick summary of the poem we have read. So let us have a quick recap. The poem Rain on the Roof talks about the poet's varied reactions. Varied is what? Different reactions to the sound of raindrops falling on the roof of his house. He says that the raindrops at night are like tears shed by the sad dark night. Clear? The first paragraph. He loves to lie in bed and hear rain falling on the roof of his room because it gets back sweet memories of the past. The second paragraph. He says that the sound of raindrops helps him fall asleep and gives him sweet dreams about his mother when he is weaving his past. He has memory of his loving mother who would put them to sleep. Clear? So this is the whole summary of the poem in short. The other message given by the poet is been discussed by us, where we have to be strong, stagnant, efficient throughout our life, be whatever situation we are facing, be whatever challenge we are going through. We have to be strong, stagnant in every situation of our life. The roof of our head should be always and always strong. Clear, children? Let us go ahead. So children, I thank you for joining me in this session. I hope you have enjoyed the entire poem and you must be inspired by the poet's thoughts given to us. We have to and we must imbibe each and every quality given to us by the poet into our life. Until we meet next time, stay safe, take care. Thank you, children.